Morning. It's good to be with you as we continue in our time in John. Sorry we missed yesterday. My day got away from me yesterday, so we didn't get a rooted done. So I apologize for that. But hopefully we're back on schedule. I did do a short little Facebook Live video that people seem to like, so I may do some of that moving forward, doing a little short Facebook Live video as I'm driving home or driving to work rather. So but I like doing rooted as well. A lot of folks seem to enjoy this. But I'd love to hear which do you prefer? Do you prefer the shorter Facebook or the longer rooted? I try to give a variety of options to people. I like talking about the Bible, so not a big deal either way. But I'd love to hear which you prefer. Today we're going to be reading in John chapter 2, John 2:13 through 25. So basically the end of chapter 2, where it says this. The Passover of the Jews was near, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple, he found people selling cattle, sheep, and doves, and the money changers seated at their table. Making a whip of cords, he drove all of them out from the temple, both the sheep and the cattle. He also poured out the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. He told those who were selling the doves, "Take these things out of here. Stop making my father's house a marketplace." His disciples remembered that it was written, "Zeal for your house will consume me." The Jews said to him, "What sign can you show us for doing this?" Jesus answered them, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." The Jews then said, "This temple has been under construction for 46 years. Will you raise it up in 3 days?" But he was speaking about the temple of his body. After he was raised from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this, and they believed the scripture and the word that Jesus had spoken. When he was in Jerusalem during the Passover festival, many believed in his name because they saw the signs that he was doing. But the Jews on his part could not entrust himself to them. But Jesus on his part could not entrust himself to them because he knew that all the people because he knew all the people and needed no one to testify about anyone, for he himself knew what was in everyone. So we see here Jesus cleansing the temple. This is one of the interesting things about John's gospel. Remember, I said that John's gospel is more about the why. Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the synoptic gospels, are the who, the what, the when, and the where. John's the why. So we see in John's gospel, one of the first things Jesus does is he cleanses the temple. He cleanses the temple. I'm like, we just performed his first miracle, and he goes and cleanses the temple. So you see some there are some versions of the gospel, not versions, there are some editions of the gospels that will put everything chronologically in order in the gospels, all four gospels kind of into one gospel. I don't think they do this as much as they used to, but there was a time when they did this. And you get all the gospels into one book, if you will, chronologically. And in that edition, you would have Jesus cleansing the temple twice, early on as in John's gospel, and then later on as in the other three gospels. And so they had him do it twice. And my line about that was always, well, they're like, oh no, here he comes again. He's got a whip. Look out, he's coming back. Um, so the question is, did Jesus cleanse the temple twice? If he did, no big deal. I mean, my answer to everything that's confusing about the Bible is, well, he's God. He can do what he wants to. I mean, he's Jesus. He can do what he wants to. So if he wants to cleanse the temple every day, that's his right. He's Jesus. He's the Son of God. He literally rose from the dead. Whatever he wants to do is a-okay in my book. So who am I to tell Jesus what he can or can't do? So maybe he cleansed the temple twice. Entirely possible. That's wonderful. Now, personally, this is what a lot of scholars believe, that John is not about telling you everything in perfect chronological order. Remember, he's not answering the who, the what, the when, the where questions. He's answering the why questions. So the way John compiles his stuff together is different than the other other gospels. He's doing a different thing. He's trying to answer a broader theological question. Remember, his story of Christmas was cosmic in nature. He didn't have mangers and sheep and angels. He had cosmic, the logos, the beginning, the word. So he's telling the big cosmic picture of what Jesus is doing. So he wants the cleansing of the temple account a little bit closer to fit into what he's telling us about Jesus. So we see Jesus here cleansing the temple. It says they were reminded. Um, uh, uh, zeal for your house will consume me. It says it was written about this. Jesus is this. John's gospel says that it was written so that we may come to believe that Jesus is the Son of God. So he cleanses the temple. And he says, destroy this temple in 3 days, I will raise it up. The Jews said, this temple has been under construction for 46 years. You'll raise it up in 3 days. So we're sitting right off the bat, hey, this is what I'm about. We're going to go from chapter 2 to chapter 3. Chapter 3, one of the greatest chapters in all the Bible. John 3:16, all these things. Jesus is telling us what he's doing here. Destroy this temple. On the 3rd day, I will raise it up. He's not talking about the physical temple. He's talking about his body. He's talking about the resurrection. John is showing us repeatedly and over and over and over again. Jesus' mission is no less than the redemption of humanity. No less than the redemption of creation. What Jesus comes to do is huge. It upends everything. Death is defeated. Sin is defeated. Evil's destroyed. Like he's coming to upend everything. And so one of the first things he does in John's gospel is he upends everything for how they had done things. They were used to the temple and the rituals and the money changers and the buying and the selling and all this. And Jesus comes and day one puts a stop to it. He's like, no, 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 no. I'm going to show you the truth. I'm going to show you how it is. I'm going to show you the truth of how things are. No, you've done it this way. Let me show you the truth. Now, and I think it's important for us to realize this. Jesus upends things, y'all. He doesn't leave well enough alone. Jesus comes to push us and prod us and calls us to think about our life and our faith and our values and everything. He does not leave us alone. It's no corny preacher saying, but he loves us just as we are, but he will not leave us just as we are. He comes to always push us to grow deeper, to love him more, to sacrifice more of our lives to him, to have him reorient all that we are. It's this old line by C.S. Lewis that says he's come not just to rearrange the business of our heart, but he's come to build a throne room for the king. And when he builds a throne room, he knocks down walls and he tears things up and he messes up things. And that's what he's come to. He's come to, in many ways, push us, in many ways, break us down, in many ways, collapse certain things so that he can then rebuild us, so that he can then remake us. So he wants to do something huge today in your life. He comes today to upend the way things are going for the religious leaders, to show them a better way. Sometimes we get so comfortable in our life that he needs to blow something up to get us to understand that there's a better way, that there's a different way, that there's something more. So line by when Jason Isbell, I thought God was an architect. Now I know he's something like a pipe bomb ready to blow. And everything you built that was all for show goes up in flames in 24 frames. God's going to mess with us. He messed with them here for the purpose of cleansing the temple and showing the actual intent that they had taken the Father's house and made it a marketplace. It says, we're not doing this anymore. There's something better. In our life, sometimes, he would tell us, we're not doing this anymore. There's something better. So today, if you're uncomfortable, today, if he's pushing you, today, if you're stressed, today, if you feel a little exhausted because of what he's doing in your life, he's pushing you to something better. He's blowing some stuff up sometimes to push you to something better. So don't get comfortable. Don't get set in your ways. Don't get stuck in your ruts. He wants to push us to something better. Today, even if that something better hurts, it's something better. So let's keep walking. Even when the path gets hard, let's keep walking. He's got something better for us. Thanks for being with us. Tomorrow we're going to pick up. We're going to read through John chapter 3, one of the best chapters in all the Bible. Can't wait to read it with you. Have a great day. See you in the morning.